It's whatever, baby. You know.
Welcome. We are back with another wonderful show, wonderful season of Whatever by Hector by yours truly, me, Hector. Hector. We are on the official HD Nation, so if you haven't gone, subscribe, like, and all that, go over there to official HD Nation on YouTube and subscribe so you won't miss any of the juicy content that we're going to be, laying out this season. Also, don't forget, I also have a second show, Beyond Pixels, where I talk about just whatever I feel like rankings, different stuff, or like talking about anime, food, places. So stay tuned. Go ahead and subscribe, like, and do all that with Official Nation, HD Nation, right on YouTube. So I'm joined by someone who has been on the show many, many, many times before, but I decided to go ahead and bring it back. So let's go ahead and welcome Lady O for her fourth or fifth time on the show. I don't even remember. But Lady O is back. Yay! So how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I can't complain.
Well, you can, but who's going to
I
listen,
mean, I
right?
could, but it's not going to change anything.
Right, right. I'm trying not to ask you the same questions that I asked you previously, so I had to dig into crates and try to figure some stuff out. You've been moving a little bit differently lately, so it's added some materials to what we could speak about. First,
Very good.
most don't know, but you have, I want to say, a obsession, but you love muscle goddess. Can you tell the people where that stems from and why?
I would have to say it stems from when I was little, and I used to watch a lot of cartoons with like superheroes, and
Hmm.
always the superheroes, regardless whether they were male or female, they were always very muscular. So
Hmm.
that to me, like that signified like power and strength, and somebody that's like, they're unstoppable because they have all these muscles.
Hmm. So that's where it came from, pretty much.
That's where it came from, pretty much.
Gotcha. Is there anybody in particular that you love to work with or have yet to work with that you think you would like to work with?
Hmm. Well, KO, which everybody knows as Courtney Olson, I've always wanted to work with her. Like, I got an opportunity to meet her this past September, and I took
Mhm.
this really cool picture with her where she's like, she has me like in a scissor hold, like she's about to squeeze my head off like it's a watermelon because that's her gimmick, where she
Yeah.
squeezes the watermelons between her legs. So that would be cool to work with her.
What kind of content would you like to make with?
Well, with her in particular, because she does not do naughty content, I would say straight up PG wrestling
Okay. Okay.
and muscle worship.
All right. So
PG muscle
who
worship.
so PD. All right. So
Yeah,
who would
PG,
you want to
PG.
work with as far as naughty muscle worship or muscle goddesses?
Ha! Funny you should mention that. Well, there's this muscle goddess that I was supposed to work with not too long ago, but she got sick, so she couldn't make it out here. Mistress Storm. So she's one that I have on the radar, and I just
Mhm.
worked the other day with a new muscle goddess called Lex. What is it, Sexy Lexi, or is it Lexi Sexy? No, Sexy Lexi. That was her name,
Okay.
and she was very interesting, I might
Okay.
say.
All right. What did y'all shoot?
Naughty content.
Okay. Okay. All right. Um.
Wait, I'm,
And
try- I'm trying to I'm trying to do the respectful professional voice. Naughty content. Yes.
right. 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 So, is there anything that you specifically like shooting naughty with muscle goddesses?
I do actually. I do like when we do like the whole muscle worship, and the muscle worship then from it just being regular, rubbing down with the oil, it transitions into something else. That and tying them up.
Why tying them up?
Because you got to remember that because they're muscle goddesses and they have muscles, what comes to mind is that, oh, they're so powerful, almost like a superhero. But now look
Mm-hmm.
at your superhero. Now your superhero's tied up. Now what?
Mm. So you like to play the villain?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Now there's nothing wrong with it, and because of you, now I'm on that path of finding. I'm still, I'm still like mine to be more feminine, but
So you're more on the fitness aspect of it, the fitness model type muscle goddess.
okay, yeah, yeah. That's where I'm at now. I have crossed over the to the other side as well, but yeah, I like mine a little bit more feminine. In a sense, I think that'll fit my brand a little bit more.
I
Um,
like the more jacked up they are, the
yeah.
happier I am.
Nah, no, you want veins and all that, bulging out. Yeah,
Hell
which I
yeah.
don't mind it, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
I'm telling you, it's an acquired taste, and it's like once you film a couple times with like maybe one or two of them, then you're like,
Hmm.
oh, then you can't stop yourself.
I've
Then it
technically
becomes a
only
habit.
I've technically only filmed with two. Like, no, three. I lied. Three.
Three,
Three.
ooh, it's three.
Echo,
Uh huh.
the reverse thing we did in Vegas.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And I know you know her, but she's not really into naughty content. It was more like I filmed her with a solo. I might
Uh
need to
huh.
put that out actually. What's her name? Suzanne. Suzanne something. I think that's
I gotta see a picture so I can see who it.
right. Right. I'll send you a picture. And you'll know probably. You do follow her, so I'll send you a picture and yeah. Yeah. So three. So
All
three.
right, all right.
And I wanted to do naughty with the first one, well, with the last one,
Mm-hmm.
but she was, the relationship thing and all that. So yeah, we didn't shoot anything. I mean, besides her doing like solo play and stuff. Yeah, that was
I'm,
a missed
it,
opportunity.
I'm telling you, it's one of those things where it's like either now or never.
Right. And me personally, I hate the I want to do this. However, I'm in a relationship with people because it's like either do it, you don't. I mean, I understand respecting your relationship that you're in and all that,
Uh huh.
but either do it or you don't. You know, some people need to stop playing with it, and I mean that's how this industry is as a whole now. Is like there's a lot of play in the industry. People not taking it seriously because they feel like they have one toe in and one toe out, so they could move however they feel like it. Like some of us take this shit seriously, and some of us take this, as a job or as a I wouldn't necessarily say a career, but you know, we take it seriously, more seriously than others.
Well, I think there's different levels to it. I mean, there are some people that this is their career slash job because it's the only thing that they focus on, and
Mm-hmm.
it's great when that's the case and they're able to survive on just doing content and not just for themselves but for other people. But that's not the case for the rest of us. Some of us, we need to have a day job so that we can have stability, especially if you have a family type situation and bills. And
Right, right, yeah,
then there's some of us that this is fun. It's a way of us being creative. It's an outlet that we use to be creative. But long term, it's not going to be something you're going to do for the rest of your life. So you try to have as much fun as you can with it.
yeah,
And then there's some that they just don't give a shit about their content. They don't give a shit about networking with people. They're just here to fuck. And and when that's the case, like that's great. But um, what's your content? What does it have? Anybody could lay down and get fucked. So
yeah, yeah. It's I don't want to say it's not a hard job because it can be, but for a lot of it, it's like you look at them, you're like, you literally shot that 5 minutes ago. And you didn't edit it at all. You just put it out there.
There's people
And,
that listen. There's some people that don't understand that when you're editing, you're supposed to try your best to show the best aspects that you can of that clip. Sometimes,
Mhm.
the angles, don't show you in your best light. I mean, not all of us are freaking Kardashians.
Well, they are built.
No,
Let's
you,
let's not throw the narrative out here that they did this naturally.
yeah.
They've been build a band. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, we
yeah,
got a lot. There's a lot of these. Hold on a second here. My allergies are killing me. There's a
mhm,
lot. There's a lot of these. Blow up Barbie dolls. That's
right,
that's the look. That's the
yeah,
look that that people have in the industry. But then you have some that aren't,
yeah,
and it makes it just makes it like difficult as far as like content because you don't want to have a blow up Barbie doll be like the main person of all your videos all the time when you can
mhm,
have a variety of different talent so that way it appeals to everyone.
right. Be like Baskin Robbins of the industry.
Yes,
32
exactly.
flavors. Yeah.
Exactly. But with that being said, it takes you back to the caring about your content.
Mhm.
There has to be something about your content that people like. It doesn't just have to be who's in it or what you're doing, but something. Whether it's
No, and
because you bring it with comedy on the side, whether
mhm,
your scenes are so hot that any angle you shoot them at, people are just like, "Oh my god, yeah! Did you see
right,
that?"
right.
There has to
No,
be
and
something.
there's definitely, and there has to be some sort of creativity to it as well. Um, I feel like, say if and we probably both know this to be true. If for some reason the muscle goddess train really blows up and really gets hot, you will have people that in not in a million years would have shot with a muscle goddess ever before, now jumping on that train just to ride the wave. They'd be like, "Oh, muscle goddess is the top category and such and such. Now I need to start doing that. Not necessarily because that's what I necessarily want or want for my brand, but because it's the hot thing to do."
Well, muscle goddesses they go through a thing where it's like first they're hot, then all of a sudden it slows down. Um,
Mhm.
Now all of a sudden it's back. Everybody's into wanting to muscle worship. Everybody wants to wrestle a muscle goddess. Like the whole thing is back now, but it
What do
dies
you
out for
think?
a little bit, then
What
it
do you
comes
think
back.
drives the demand to the lows? Like, what do you think is contributes to that?
I think it all has to do with the kind of content. If the kind of content that you're doing is just wrestling the girls or boxing the girls, people
Mm-hmm.
tend to get a little bit like, and it gets saturated. Now, when you're doing more fetish based things where you're like tying up the girls, the visual itself, some people are into that. So they'll be like, oh, yeah, this looks kind of interesting. It's not just a
Mm-hmm.
regular damsel, but it's a muscular damsel. And some
Mm-hmm.
guys that appeals to them, and they want to see more of that. And then comes the factor of shooting adult content with a muscle girl. You have a lot of people that they start wondering in their head, oh, do all muscle girls use gear? How do they look there when they have gear? Is it that everybody has a big clitoris? How can you tell? What else changes? And there's all that whole discovery, and then that does a thing for people too. They're like, oh yeah, hey, there's nothing different. Oh, it's just that they have muscles up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and something that you told me, you like they can tend to be always horny.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And if you're shooting this kind of content, you're shooting spicy content, that's what you want. You don't want someone whose libido is like low because then the content comes out kind of shitty, to be honest. If both people participating, they have like that whole vibe where it's like, whoo,
Mm-hmm.
the content comes out hot. If you have
Yeah.
one person that's revved up and the other one is just a dead fish, that's it.
there's a lot of dead fish in this industry demanding,
The sea
you
is full of
know,
them now.
100%. And where I think when I got into the industry, even it was the other way around. It was like everyone was like, if you ain't bringing that nasty, if you and there's different levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not bringing that nasty, why are we shooting this now? You know, the what I would consider vanilla girls are like, ew, nah, I wouldn't, I can't do that. And you'd be like, wait, this is regular stuff. Like, what do you mean you? All right, next, and this is the price that you want to get paid for that? Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, it's kind of like you ask somebody, okay, for this scene, how are we going to end it? And you'll tell them, oh, okay, well, you can swallow you can swallow when the guy comes. No, ew. Do you do that at home? What? Oh, you don't do that at home either. Oh, what the fuck? What the hell do you do? But
Right,
meanwhile,
right.
but meanwhile, this is the same person will be like, oh, well, I kind of like it when a guy chokes me and spits on me. Now that's disgusting. You want somebody you don't know where what the hell they've been doing, and you want them to just spit in your mouth? Like that's fucking gross.
Yeah.
Yep.
Different strokes for different folks. But yeah, it's like I was telling someone recently how I used to mess with this girl. She'd do anal all day, but they didn't want to suck dick. And I was like, wait, what?
She wants to do the most painful act of all, but she doesn't want to do something basic.
Yeah. So
Wow.
so they're out there, not shaming those that don't want to suck dick. You just can't be on this side. I like my dick sucked. you know. So
I think most guys do.
no, I've met a few that really don't care for it. And
Are
if
you no, no? I need to interview these individuals
I'm telling you, there's a
because
few
now I'm
that they
shocked.
they don't care for it. They don't like their dick being sucked. I mean, they do it, but it's not like anything that they really, I guess, enjoy. And I'm like, shit, if I had a girl that all she loved to do is suck dick, send her my way because I'm in heaven. I'd rather get my dick sucked than fuck all day. Like, what? I'm in heaven. What do you think mainstream wise will happen with the muscle goddess, or what do you hope happens with the muscle goddess mainstream wise?
I think that would be one hell of a category.
Mm-hmm.
If like, let's say you had the next AVNs and the category for the award was
So goddess.
sexiest muscle goddess to fuck or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that would be
That,
a great category.
but then I know how we view awards now. There'll be people that never lifted weights a day in their lives would be trying to go into that category just to say, you know what I mean? Like that's just how this award stuff is
Well, that's
now
like
so
the
kind
MILF.
of eluded.
Well, that's like the MILF category.
Mm-hmm.
You have some. Okay, what's a MILF? A mother you would like to fuck. There's some chicks in this category that they're nobody's mother. There's some chicks that you know damn well they're somebody's grandmother. I mean, like, why are they in that category?
Because they haven't come up with the guilt category yet, so they have to
No,
apply for
no, no.
something.
And the worst part is, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is different for you because you're a guy, right? But when you're a female and you have another female that you're staring at that you know damn well is like 20 years older than you, it's
Hmm.
like, yeah, I'm only 32. Nah, bitch, you're like fucking 82. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, right? I do remember when you used, especially women, used to have to lie for porn, right? To
Yeah.
be appear to be younger. But we no longer live in that time and age where no people don't really give a fuck no more.
No, they
So I
don't.
don't understand why people are still doing that. It's like just tell your age and keep it moving.
They lie. They lie about it. But I think more in general, it's because of the whole thing of ageism. I think that's what
Okay.
you say it. You know,
Yeah.
and a guy could be in his 50s or 60s and nobody cares. The minute the woman reaches like a certain age, all of a sudden everybody and their mother wants to like make a comment or two. And the woman doesn't even have to look old. That's the thing. You know, she could look extremely young for her age, and you still have people making comments. You know, it's like, dude, have you seen yourself so you could be making comment about this woman? And it does something to them in their head where now they go on this path where it's like they must get this surgery so their face won't look old, so they can get rid of the wrinkle. Meanwhile, they have like no wrinkles, but they see a wrinkle where there's no wrinkle.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of the surgeries. I'm not the fan of the surgeries if it's to AKA boost your career. I'm a fan of the surgeries if you truly want to change your appearance or whatever for yourself. And I get it. You have to invest in yourself and your product, right? And
right.
for most people in this industry, they are their product. But you would spend tens of thousands on your body, but when a videographer, a photographer, or an editor or a marketer says, hey, this is my fee, it's too much.
Oh no, how dare you ask me for this? Don't you know who I am?
Right. And it's like, no, that's investing in your product as well without the surgery. Like I had someone tell me some of the women that I shot, they've seen in person, and they're like, what did you do? And I was like, what do you mean? They were like, how did you make them look like this? I'm like, I didn't. Like, I just took them in a flattering light, you know, and stuff like that. I didn't enhance them. I didn't change their appearance. I didn't do anything, you know? But they're like, no, this person doesn't look like this, or this person. It's just, and I get it, the whole looks in this industry thing. I get it. I understand it, but
lighting
yeah.
and makeup, lighting and makeup can perform miracles. You can have someone that looks like a freaking creature stand in the right lighting and have the perfect makeup on, and all of a sudden, holy shit, so gorgeous. Then the minute they take off the makeup,
Yeah. Now I had one where it was crazy. I took a photo of her, and me and the other person looked at my camera, looked at her, looked back at my camera, looked at her. Two separate people. Two separate people. And I was like, I guess she's just photogenic. I don't know. You
no.
know?
There's some people that, believe it or not, they're very photogenic, and then there's people, and it's always like people that. Well, I wouldn't say always, but 95% of the time, it's someone that normally when you look at them without taking a picture, you're like, whew, right? And then there's
Yeah.
people that are hot, but when they take a picture, I don't know what the hell happens.
Right.
That they look
Not
like
yeah, it
they
looked
look
like
like the
someone
hills
didn't
have
hit him in the
eyes.
right. What's some now we're talking about some industry stuff. So what's some situations that you have observed in the industry that you're like, well, controversy that you looked at and is like, we're actually letting this shit fly? Like,
Well, everybody always talks about people that are inappropriate within the industry, right? And it's
mm-hmm,
always everybody's like accusing always the guys. There are some guys, yes, that are extremely inappropriate. But people would be fascinated to know that there's a lot of women in this industry that are beyond inappropriate. And
100%.
and I think that that's what gets a lot of the guys in trouble to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have a female that you're going to work with that's in your DMs, texting you, or emailing you or speaking to you on the phone, and she's being inappropriate with you, and A, you haven't worked with her yet, or B, you have worked with her and now you're setting up your second shoot or your third shoot, and instead of saying, hey, what kind of scenes you want to shoot, have you given it some thought? Do you want to go with a theme? Do you want, do you want lines? And instead, all that they're telling you is, well, I was thinking of your hot cock, and I wanted it, and then you're like, what? Excuse me, ma'am, we're co-workers. You
Right, right, right,
perv.
right, right.
And
But
you're
as soon as
shocked.
he entertains it and something goes south,
Yes.
then
And
he
that's the
was the
thing.
perv.
He was the perv. And you know that they always
Mm-hmm.
find like that one screenshot where you were actually like responding to whatever nastiness they had sent to you before. And then like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, look at this person.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. They don't do it just to the males. They sometimes do that shit to other females too.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it in a way where you're like, when you realize that you're being victimized all of a sudden, you're like, what? Oh my God. I'm not going to name names, but I recently had that happen. Somebody was being inappropriate with me for a period of time. And I let it go because, I was like, yeah, maybe that's just the way that they speak, until I realized that no, this person is being an actual fucking pervert. And though I'm a
Mm-hmm.
pervert myself, I felt victimized. I didn't like it. I know I know it sounds weird, but I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with this person? And it's not that they were ugly or anything, because they were hot. I just didn't like the approach, you know? I just, because if I'm not on that level with you and I don't make those kind of jokes with you and we don't have that rapport where it's like we'll say naughty things to each other and then laugh, you know,
Mm-hmm.
then why are you doing it? It's
No,
like I didn't give you the invitation.
I had someone when we first met, and it was in a crowd of people. And so I walked up, to go give a hug or whatever, because this was our first time meeting. Her hand instantly went straight to my dick. And I was like, all right, that's cool. You know what I mean? And it's not that I'm gonna be like, oh, she touched me inappropriately, but like if I was to do it to her or do it to another female,
Yeah, like how dare you? Yeah.
it would have been a problem. But it's almost too like I've seen guys speak out on female predators or women predators, and they honestly they get laughed at, they get overlooked, they get like, come on, really, really, she had to do this to you type shit, and it's like, and if we made the argument of, well, he has billions of dollars, really, he had to do this to you, they would be in uproar. Like, yes, a lot of men with millions of dollars, uses women, and it's the same thing. You know what I mean? It's the same thing on the other side of the coin. Someone told me the best thing, especially on the culture that's happening lately. Women are now treating men the way they felt men's been treating them all their lives.
Yes. But it's going overboard because they're doing it
Yeah.
to even each other.
Mm-hmm.
Each other. They're even doing it to each other now. And
Right.
it's just fucking wild.
No, it is, and it's often, unfortunately, just brushed under the rugs, unless they did it to someone that's popular. Either there's classism, or there's classism, or there's sexism, right? So the classism is, if they did it to someone that's popular, then that's when people hear it. But if they do it to someone
Uh-huh.
who's not popular, then it's like whatever, right? Or if they do it to a female, there might be a little bit more eyes on it, versus if they do it to a male, then it's like whatever.
The best line I've ever heard somebody say to me. Now, in this particular case, I didn't mind the person being inappropriate. Okay, in this particular case, but I wasn't in the mood. on the day that certain things occur. And the
Does
line that I
matter
got
too.
was, the line that I got was, "Don't you know how many people would love to be in the position that you are in right now with me?" And I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm not one of your fans,
Right,
But
right.
they brought that up, and I'm like, wow, like that's one hell of a line, because it's true. Yeah, there would have been many people that would have loved to have been in that position that I was at that particular time, but
Mm-hmm.
so what?
Right, right, right. I'm not that person. Right.
Yeah,
Last question before our break. Have you personally encountered drama in the industry? And if so, how did you handle
I've actually encountered much drama, um, and I would have to say that in the very beginning, like my first little drama episode, I did
it?
not handle it very well, because the number one thing that you should not do is go online with your grievances. And if you do, state what you got to state and just keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
I unfortunately am one of these people that if you keep on poking me, like I lose my shit. And if you're in front of me, you're going to get hurt, right? So I don't believe in that whole keyboard warrior shit, because I will be waiting outside your door. That's the way I think. So once I
Yeah.
got past that, and I realized that a lot of times too, people in this industry per se, they do shit for attention. So they will start a fight with you. They would they'll freaking
And
come
then
out
turn
with like
around and try to
lies.
be the victim.
Yes, and they try to play victim when they're not. You
Mm-hmm.
They could even put screenshots where a person with half a brain will read the screenshot and know that that person is in the wrong, not the person that they're calling out. And you'll still have people that are reading something and it shows the person saying, "Go fuck yourself, you asshole." And they'll be like, "Oh no, Bob would never say that to Ken. How dare you accuse Bob of being an asshole? Clearly that's Ken. Do you not see him telling Ken to go fuck himself? Like, what is the matter with you? Can you not read?"
Right, 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 right,
And you'll
right.
have and you'll have that, and at the same time, you'll have people that purposely will start a fight with someone and tag them to get traffic to their page. Because everybody
Mm-hmm.
likes a good soap opera. So people will be clicking on
Including
Bob's
myself.
page. Yeah.
I am not gonna lie. I will, if I'm bored enough, I will go down the spider webs of threads to find, and a lot of times this shit be super juicy. I'm not even gonna hold
No,
you.
there's no, you're right. There's times where everything is juicy and there's times where you're like, what the fuck is this about? Sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
like over the most stupidest shit that could have been
Mm-hmm.
solved by people actually communicating. This is another thing too. It's not about texting. It's not about sending somebody a DM, which is the same shit. It's not about
Mm-hmm.
sending somebody an email. Sometimes you need to pick up the phone to discuss certain matters and confirm. Because
So
how many?
I'm leery of that, right? And here's why. And you're probably concur. I need to have paper trail because a lot of these people are brain dead. Like they will do something and 5 minutes later totally forget that they even did something or
This
said
is true.
something.
This is true.
So anytime someone's like, well, call me, I'm already normally on guard. Like, all right, you're about to say some bullshit, and I can't really prove said bullshit if it ever
Well,
comes out.
you
I
do
mean,
know.
now
Wait.
I,
You
I
do
know
know that
now.
now. There's a little button now that comes on that
Yeah,
you can
I do
record.
know that now. I don't really talk on the phone that much to even really give a fuck. And you never really see me go back and forth too much online, anyways, with
No.
people. So I don't, because I'll say what I have to say, and then I'm going on with my life. Like I got better shit to do. You know what I mean?
Like I try my best now not to argue with other people, but you're always gonna find someone that's gonna say something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And because now I pretty much I can't hold on, I need a tissue. Because now, since I'm like the candy man and I'm
Mm-hmm.
everywhere now, not
Yeah.
just doing productions, but also involved and like helping behind the scenes with certain things, I have
Mm-hmm.
to now be extremely careful if I get involved in arguments with people,
Mm-hmm.
because the first thing they're doing is looking for you to say something in the wrong way,
Yeah.
so they can use it against you. So with that being said, even if I want to curse somebody out
You have to
and be
take the
like,
high road.
yeah. So even though you want to say to somebody, you fucking, piece of shit,
Yeah.
go suck a dick. You can't say it like that now because people are watching, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to say, well, you have some mommy and daddy issues you need to handle. You need to see a therapist. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that you should go indulge in a bag of Richards. you know? And you just say it like that, in a nice way and keep it moving. And that's
Mm-hmm.
it. Because if you sit there, the first thing they're gonna say, oh, look at Pocahontas over here that she represents this company and that
And right,
company and she has her hand
right.
in this and hand in that. Look at her unprofessionalism of the way that she's speaking to this other person. And meanwhile, the other person could be the one that's out of pocket 100%, but because of the way that you responded, it reflects on you, even though you're the one that's being victimized, not the other person.
Yeah.
So with that
Now,
being said, I'm very careful now. You know,
yeah.
extremely careful.
Now, and we all know they like to use certain trigger words
Oh,
to drive their
you're
point home.
gaslighting me. How am I
Yeah.
gaslighting you when I'm pointing out what you are doing wrong? Like, what are
Mm-hmm.
you fucking insane?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we all know most people use those terms incorrectly. Professionalism is the number one thing that people use incorrectly
Mm-hmm.
because technically speaking to someone in any tone or any manner has nothing to do with professionalism.
It has to do with having manners or courtesy. Like, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
there was something that occurred a couple weeks ago, right? It was something very, very, very simple. Somebody did not comply with certain guidelines that had to do with, with a website. The person was told, hey, unfortunately, this is, we got to take you off the site, blah, 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 blah. It was said in a very
Hold that
professional
thought.
manner.
Let's go ahead and take a break, and we're going to come back to that story because that's one of my other points as well. So we're going to take a little break, hear words from our sponsors, and we're going to be right back. And today's sponsor is Motivate Image. Go to Motivate Image on Instagram at Motivate Image. That's MOTIV8 Image on Instagram, also TikTok, or you can find everything that they have going on at Linktree/Motivate Image. They predominantly do boudoir. However, they also do silhouette, bodyscape, fashion. Go ahead, go to Linktree/Motivate Image and book with them today. We're back from our sponsors. We're here with Lady O as she tells us, not only her love for the muscle goddess, but also some stuff that is going on. So we left off on her about going to the story about some recent drama in the industry. So go ahead and finish that
Now,
story up.
now we're not gonna name names. We should have a show where it's like we give tea and we name names and shit, but then we gotta disguise our identities.
Right.
it'll,
Oh,
it'll
being the
be
whole black and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're like the freaking the Squid
mob.
Games mask or something,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, not to name names or anything. So this person, instead of being a professional and emailing me back and saying, "Well, Lady O, what can I do to redeem this situation? You know, how can we move forward from here?" No, no, not this person. This person was, let's just say, the kind of individual you see fucking for $5 at a Walmart parking lot. All right, that's the mentality this person had. All right, never mind asking for $20 at the Walmart parking lot, but asking for five. Right. So
yeah.
the way that they responded to the email, it was like, "How dare you kick me off the site? Go fuck yourself." And I'm like, looking at this email, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? Were they dropped on their head as a child?
Right,
I
right.
mean, where did they come from? Like,
Mm-hmm.
who birthed this person? Because that person needs to get smacked. That's what I was thinking along that lines, right? They go and they post the email, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, do you not realize how dumb you look now, because people can read the email. Those of us that can actually read and comprehend what they read, and they'll see there's nothing wrong with how you were approached, when meanwhile you're a dirtbag. And this went on for about a couple of days. You know, the person got no
I'm not gonna
traction.
lie, it was very juicy for me. I was
It
I
was,
was
I know.
I was reading.
Mind you, the person got no traction, right? And any turn that they got that week, where they, where they had the opportunity to name drop the site or whatever, they would proceed to do so and then speak in a negative manner. So I would respond to their comment in a professional manner. And it got to the point where this person supposedly is known for arguing back and forth. I guess they decided that they didn't want to argue with me back and forth, so instead they blocked me. And I was like, oh, you fucking punk ass pussy. What happened to the loudmouth that said that they could do this and do that? Oh, I guess because I'm from New York and you're from fucking Florida, right? All right, I get it. you know? And it's like, what the fuck? Don't start something you ain't gonna finish.
No, I definitely going back to that whole keyboard warrior thing. A lot of people. Let's throw out two things. First of all, most of the people that we met or have encountered is through social media. So
Yeah.
we don't really know what these people look like to begin with.
Unless
I've
we've
been
met
in
them or worked
rooms,
with them.
right? I've been in rooms where someone's kind of talk shit, and I just kind of like tap them in the shoulder and introduce myself, and then their eyes get fucking big as saucers, and I'm like, nah, I'm not. I know you pussy. You've been pussy. You're gonna still remain to be pussy. So me fighting you or me getting into something with you, I'll still be taking the L, right? But people forget that with all the makeup, with how much people follow someone, you can literally be in the same room with them and be like, you look so familiar. Who are you
And now
again?
remember, yeah.
And not remember where you see them from or any of that. And then secondly, most of the people in this industry can't truly fight at
Facts.
all. So now you're going into a situation where you're talking mad shit online just to get snuffed and then be like, I don't know why I got snuffed. But you forgot 3 months ago you were talking shit about somebody, and now they happen to say, when they type that, wait till I see you, it's on site. You forgot what on site means, but they did it.
And then they're like, oh, this savage, look what they did to my lip. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh. And you're like,
Yeah.
but you deserved it. You earned that. You earned that
Mm-hmm.
broken lip.
Right. No, 100%. And I'm the kind of person too, like, I always find it funny, humorous when I have someone going back and forth with me because I'm like, especially if it's a guy, and we know most guys in this industry are like 5'5". I'm 6 foot. I'm not saying size has anything to do with anything, but I'm
You a
6 foot.
giant.
Yeah.
Yo, and I'm short. Be like, damn, you tall.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're not expecting to throw hands or any of that situation, some of y'all need to pipe the fuck down because y'all are not built for it at all. At all. You know. But that situation there is definitely funny because she picked a fight. She had multiple different fights going on at the same
Yep.
time. And I don't think she's equipped to handle all that was going
No.
on at the time.
She had like two, I think it was like 2 or 3 fights going on at the same time.
This is like
And
four.
she was trying to freaking bulk them together as if
Mm-hmm.
if we were all moving as a unit. Meanwhile, it's
Right.
separate. We were separate from each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the other
And that's
thing
the
too,
thing too is not knowing your enemy, or you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
And the other thing too is people talk so much shit, and then when they see you in person, it's like, oh hi, how? Like, do you think I forgot? I don't forgive and I
right,
don't forget. You know.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I might shake your hand. Yes, it's nice to meet you. And in my head, yeah, this is the cocksucker that was saying all this other shit the other day.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
But once again, you're not gonna in a situation where it's an event or
Yeah,
you're
you're
in
not gonna
public in
show
front of.
out.
Yeah, you're not gonna do that because that makes you look like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or I've also had a situation where there was somebody that was working with someone and they started to like trash me or whatever, or talk shit because it happened to be a particular person that I wasn't talking to. And then when this new person was told all these things and the person gets to work with me, they're like, oh my God, you're like so different than what so and so said. And I said, well, yeah, because so and
Listen,
so's got an issue.
listen. I've had producers talk shit about me. I had not necessarily models per se, and not dudes either. Which is so I had a lot of producers talk shit about me. And it's not even and producers that's never met me a day in their fucking life. Like ever. Ever. I had one producer telling someone that I was close with, but he didn't know how close we were. Oh, how I don't go get tested, how, I'll be doing this, how I'll be doing that, blah, blah, blah. And she came back, of course, and told me all this. And
Mm-hmm.
my initial reaction was to go pull up on him because I knew where he lived.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go pull up on him, but I'm like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like certain fights, I'm like, bro, you're nobody. Me coming over to fight you would make you a somebody, and I'm good. I'm not trying to give you free press.
He's gonna get
I'm not trying to
free
do any of that.
traffic.
Right,
Free
right. I'm
traffic.
not trying to do any of that. Versus you using your girl to traffic girls through your little whatever you got going on. So I'm cool. I'm good. Because every person that he's worked with or that they had lived with them always had some horror stories after the fact. So you're the predator, my guy, like not me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I'm definitely not going to give you too much more energy on my own platform. But yeah, I've had more of that happen. Most of the male talent in this industry, for some reason, look up to me. I don't know why. It irks me sometimes. Females are just whatever. Whatever is beneficial to them, that's what they do. Yeah. Oh, I always hear when a female talks about me or whatever, they'd be like, "Oh, I've heard nothing but great things about you." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Why?"
Because you're not a creeper. Because the minute that somebody's a creeper, everybody knows about it.
Yeah,
But
but they still
but
go rush and walk with that person.
well, that's the other thing too. Why is it that there's so many people that are predators and they continue to swim in the sea? And there are some that
Freely.
aren't and are cut short because it always has to do with whoever the person is that they're fighting
How good
with.
looking they are, how big
And
their dick
yes,
is,
yes,
how you know.
you could be the biggest piece of shit,
Mm-hmm.
but because let's say the girls like the way you look, or they like your penis, or they like the way that you make them feel,
Mm-hmm.
they will deny and deny that you forced yourself on them. They would deny and deny that they roofied your drink before they stuck their dick in your mouth
Mm-hmm.
because they like the person. Then
Mm-hmm.
meanwhile, you got Joe Schmo that didn't do anything. All he said was no. Like, no, I don't want to do that at this moment with you. How dare you turn me down? He is a rapist. Meanwhile, the guy didn't even do anything.
Right. No, we recently talked about a such prick. Um, and yeah, just because this person now, the situation that I sent you, and I'm glad you kind of brought it up. That person, okay, so just to paint the picture in a really short amount of time, a girl went to a convention. Um, she canceled a bunch of her shoots, then got mad after she canceled a bunch of her shoots, and a bunch of the people that she was supposed to work with that she canceled on started to unfollow her and block her, right? Then she showed a screenshot of this other dude going her and this other dude going back and forth. Now The thing that the guy said at the end was horrific. He shouldn't have said it, right? However, you can't say my body, my choice, my time, but then get mad at other people when you cancel them. You almost got mad at them for getting mad at you, and that's dumb. I have a right if I feel like my time, energy, and all that shit was wasted to unfollow and block whoever I see fit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The person was so oblivious to whatever they had going on that they forget sometimes people will travel for one shoot. It's stupid, in my opinion. It's dumb as fuck, in my opinion. However, you don't know if these people traveled all this way just to shoot with you, just for you to cancel on them. So now they're out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And your thing is, well, I was going through something. So I canceled. No, that's, listen, and most businesses don't work that way. I'm sorry to tell you. Most businesses, even if we were to say Hollywood, you can't get booked for a said situation, and then when said situation is going to happen, you cancel the day before. Oh no, they're gonna railroad your ass.
You're supposed to suck it up, Buttercup. Put your smiley face on, because the show must go on.
Right now, in this industry, I get it. People go through things. People have all kind of whatever, right? So you can cancel on someone, 100%. Do you? But then how dare you get mad at these people for getting mad at you and unfollowing you and unblocking you? Like, you don't think these people felt you wasted their fucking time?
In order for them to have blocked a person like that so quick, it has to be that they had done that shit multiple times already. Like they
Well,
were
not
already at
necessarily,
strike 3.
because you know, we're very sensitive industry now. So it could literally be the first time and whatever. Um, and then my thing is too, it goes back to screenshot. If I ever do something and say I send it to Lady O, I'm sending her the whole goddamn thread.
Oh yeah,
I'm not sending the part that makes me look like I'm the hero of the story.
Yes, people edit that shit too, and they only send you parts, bits, and pieces, and you're like, but something's missing from the story. No, that's all of it. No, I don't think so.
Because how this shit, escalated to him saying what he said. He must have told you, and this is me speculating because I don't have the, transcript, but he probably at one point was like, listen, bitch, leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone. And you on your horse and like, no, how dare you tell me to leave you alone? I'm going to say my piece.
And that's the other thing too. Like you get tired of arguing, you tell the person, "Look, I'm done. I don't want to hear no more," and they just keep on and then it's like they'll say shit to you, and then now you have to defend yourself, and then it's like, "How dare you defend yourself? Now you're harassing me. Now I'm gonna block you." But bitch, you're fucking yelling at me. What am I supposed to say to you?
Right.
Am I supposed to be like, "Yes, you are correct"? No, I need to defend
I'm going to sit
myself.
here and allow you to waste my time after already wasting my time. Because think about it, right? When you set up, we both know how we set up shoots, right?
Yep.
You reach out to a person, they say yes or no, then you start telling them how you envision the scene going, what blah 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 blah.
Yep.
So this is all time and effort that we're wasting into something just for you to cancel. And it's not like you canceled. You probably canceled. I'll give you a fair shot. You probably canceled the night before, but the shoot was at 8 a.m.
You need at least 48 hours at least. I mean, granted, things could happen. I mean, there are situations that things can happen. And when there's a situation that happens like that, then quickly reach out to the producer you're working with or the other talent that you're, and it doesn't matter whether it's trade or paid.
Mm-hmm.
A clip is
Yeah,
a
treat it
clip.
the same.
Treat it the same. A clip is a clip because guess what? If it's a trade, that's an extra clip that was going to go in your store that you could have hustled.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And if it's a paid shoot, God damn it, you were going to get paid. You were
Mm-hmm.
gonna have money put in your pocket. You know, so have the common courtesy to at least, you know, give the person a heads up. But things do arise. Things do happen. You know, sometimes unexpected things happen. But it's your job to quickly tell the person, look, this is what's happening. Look, so you don't think I'm fucking pulling your leg. Look, right now, there's a crash on I-95. Let me show you. Look at my car, yo, look at this shit. You show them. You know, you go out of your way and you show them. Not that all of a sudden you're not answering your phone, nobody knows where the fuck you are, you know. And then, oh, I've had a life moment occur and I just can't. I can't, you know, like all of a sudden the
My
Joe Crawford, I
mental,
can't, you know.
they started, my mental, I could handle everything. It's so much mentally overstimulated. It's like, but when you were at that party last night, you were good.
Yeah, well, when you were twerking in the middle of that party after having 6 drinks, your mental state was fine, you know.
Right. Now, and I feel that's one of the, me and you definitely have these talks all the time where I just feel like we're not holding people to any set of standards anymore. Although when it comes to pay, then I love when the girls be like, we we need to hold people to the industry standard. Then when it's like, okay, well, why are you late? Well, I didn't check to see how far it was. I sent it to you a week ago. As soon as someone sends me an address, I'm instantly looking to
Uh
see
huh.
how far it is. Because I know, okay, if it's an hour away, that means I need at least 30 minutes prior to that, just so I'm there on time.
Yeah, just in
And
case you hit traffic.
no, these people will leave on that hour. And then when stuff happens, then it's like, oh, well, I'm late. Okay, I'm gonna deduct your pay. Well, why? I'm here. Well, you wasted 15 minutes of my time already. You're 15 minutes late.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And mind you, the same person that arrived late is trying to leave at the time that the shoot's supposed to be ending
Oh, right.
when they came in late. When what they should
Oh,
say is, wait, are you renting out the space? You know, do you need me to contribute so that we could extend the stay a little bit longer so we could finish doing this? Or,
mhm.
oh, you don't have to pay. Is it okay? Do you have another shoot coming up? You know, I would like to make up for the time that I came in late, you know, so we
No,
can
they ain't
keep
trying
this
to make up
moving.
shit.
Yeah, no.
No, they ain't trying to make up shit. All right. How do you define freaky, not only in your personal life, but also professional?
That's that's a hard one. I would have to say
Okay.
someone that is not only willing to do extremely naughty and adventurous things on camera,
So
but they're also willing to
give
do
us
it
a
off.
baseline. Give us a baseline what is said naughty or freaky is.
Like let's say someone that's willing to get tied up and
Uh-huh.
then let's say banged by like 6 different people at the same time. And
Okay.
they're willing to do that on camera and off camera
Okay.
without holding back.
Okay.
Like I'm like, oh, you really do that shit? Oh, well, okay.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Because
No, 100%.
you gotta remember, this is another thing too that people don't understand. Everything that's done on film doesn't mean that the person does it off camera. It's very rare that the person does both. So you're like, yeah, what you saw Bob shooting, man, Bob does that all the time. That's why he's a pro, because that's what he does, you know? And people have this thing where they think they see you doing this thing, like, oh, look at Heck, man. He's got a harem, man. He got like 6 girls sucking his dick. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you know, that's not the case. You know, you might be very shy and you only have like 1 girl sucking your dick or 2 at the same time, not 6. And people think that you're this big shot, you know. Oh, you
Mhm.
didn't know he was
It,
shy? Yeah, no,
it,
he's
it
shy.
let people tell it, man. I got hoes running in out of this spot. You know,
Got a
Yeah,
host of different
out.
area codes.
Right. Well, that tends to be a little bit more true, but that tends to be a little bit more true. But yeah, I don't. For the most part, no. And you're right, right? Because we have our different characters that we portray in front of camera versus our personal life may have some of that, but it's not like how it's presented on camera. Like I've never had an orgy in my personal life. I don't even think I've had a threesome in my personal life. No, no.
You're missing out.
Yeah, you know, um, yeah. So a lot of the freaky stuff that people see me or have seen me do on camera, done personally, not even like my go-to thing.
I gotta laugh because you see, I've always been a believer that you gotta try at least something once, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that you can say that you did it. So there's a lot of things that I've done on camera that I've already done in my personal life. So I'm like, yo,
Okay.
you weren't even shy, you just did it. And I'm laughing because I'm thinking, well, I've done that before. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
only difference is there's a camera now.
Right, right,
And I
right.
laugh about it. I was like, man, people don't really they don't usually try this shit. Like, what the fuck? I thought that was normal.
No, and we all know a lot of the people that's in this industry that claim to be freaky. You be like,
And they're not.
at all.
They're shy and they're more vanilla than you can possibly think.
Yeah, and they're boring,
It is. It
even
is
on
boring.
camera.
Yeah, it
Even
is
on camera.
boring. Mm-hmm.
Someone was and I've been talking about it recently, but someone stated to me recently that the nasty females we used to have, like the Vanessa Del Rios, the Vanessa Blues, the Jada Fires, the era of between the 80s and early 2000 girls where these chicks would be like, oh, you want me to fuck him? Cool, bring it. And it'd be someone you'd be like, ew. You know what I mean? They didn't give a fuck.
Uh-huh.
And they used to be able to carry the scenes. Like you watched it, not necessarily for the guy, but you watched it for the woman, right? Because you knew she was just going to be a big, nasty slut. Now it's the men that people normally watch because it's now the men that are carrying the scenes because a lot of the women, a and tell me if I'm wrong. Stop me at any point if you think I said
Uh-huh.
anything incorrect. Most of the females don't like sex. Most of them don't even like men. Um, most of them don't know shit about sex for real, for real. They're boring.
And not only that, there's a lot that they'll call themselves a throat goat, and then you're watching the scene and you're like, what the
Uh,
fuck is that? Who taught you how to
yeah,
suck dick? Because
yeah,
that is awful.
yeah.
That is awful. Or yeah, like I'm the best with my tongue. I'm really good. Or then you're looking at them like, who taught you how to eat a pussy? That's not the way you do it. What's going on here? Who is your teacher?
Listen, I've had my dick sucked by some of these quote unquote throat goats, and I'm having to go in my Rolodex so I can get this nut out so I can go on about my day.
You'd be there fucking fantasizing about something else and shit.
100%. 100 fucking %. 100%. And it's sad because we call them professionals for a reason, right? You're supposed to be a professional at your field and you suck at your field. It's almost like if this was a brick and mortar job and you're the lowest person on the totem pole, but yet you're praising yourself like you're the next manager, you're the next GM. And it's like, so go sit your lazy ass down somewhere and go pick up a mop and sweep this shit up. You know what I mean? Because that's where you belong.
I knew somebody. They're no longer in the industry, and this person, they used to be mainstream, and they used to go around bragging to everybody how I'm a porn star. I'm a porn star. And I had to stop him one time, and I was like, "Well, here's the thing. You don't know how to suck dick properly. How about you stop telling people you're a porn star until you learn how to do that properly? Because you're just embarrassing yourself." Like, what do you mean? I was like, "Have you seen your scenes? Are you really focused on what you're doing?"
Oh
I'm like,
wow,
you need to learn to do this a little bit more properly so people can enjoy watching you
wow.
and not know how to suck dick. And I was like, wow, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, unfortunately, there's a lot of those in this industry, and I'm like, when I'm like, oh, open your mouth more because you're scraping.
Why are you using your teeth? I didn't know you had braces.
Yo, right? Like it's bad. But we're
Why,
gonna go ahead and close out because we got shit to do. It was a
why does
pleasure
your tongue
having
feel
you on.
like sandpaper?
Right? No lubricant. Wait to spit at. Go drink some water. Like yeah, we're going to get the fuck up out of here. But Lady O, go ahead and tell the people what projects you have coming up, if any. You know, just tell people what you got going on and where
I
they
got
can
a couple.
find you.
I got a couple of projects coming up now towards May and some towards June. I'm going to be collaborating with a couple of producers that do things totally different than from my categories. I'm actually heading out to Texas in July. That trip was pushed and pushed and pushed, and finally we're doing it in July. And I'm going to be doing some underwater stuff along with some very kinky stuff that I'm going to be shooting. Don't want to get too much into it. You can find me on Twitter at lady underscore Oyanka. You can find me at IG with the same handle, lady underscore Oyanka. And, you can go to any of my stores, www.ladyoproductions.com, www.ladyofilms.com, www.ladyo, what the fuck is it, clips.com. There's
Okay.
so many of them.
Yeah. No,
So
I
many of them.
trust me. I had to scale back because it was getting ridiculous out here.
Everywhere. Clips for sale, freaking loyal fans, only fans, Frap House. I think I even have a thing on Xvids too. I mean, it's like the Candyman.
Right.
Like the
So
Candyman.
So this is, like I said, this is a great episode once again. We touched on enough to not touch on anything. uh, I'm your host, Hektek from Hektek Desires. Once again, go ahead if you haven't already, go on YouTube and subscribe to Official HD Nation. That's Official HD Nation on YouTube. I have two great shows. I might be rolling on a third one, just depends on how I'm feeling. But you have Beyond Pixels, which talks
You
about
should have like a little
everything.
DJ set up there where you're like,
Nah, I have too many hobbies already. I can't keep adding to them. Uh, Beyond Pixels is one of my shows, and then of course this one and whatever by Hektek, where I bring on guests and we sit here and talk shit, Um, and with that, I'm gonna say my little saying: keep those close that are close to you, and keep those loyal that are loyal to you, and just don't do anything that you don't want to do. And with that, we're